Hey everybody, welcome to another game from the Beyond the Summit World Tour. I'm Basskip. This is going to be a best of 3 series between Orange and CLG. Orange are going to be over on the Radiant side, CLG are going to be on the Dire side. As I've already said, I'm Basskip. Beyond the Summit World Tour, yada yada. If you want to support these guys, if you like this tournament, remember that you can always go and buy the ticket in game. You can go over and subscribe to their Twitch TV page. I think they're still running a few tournaments, a few prize giveaways and things over on their Facebook page as well. If you're interested in that, I think you might just be able to win tickets. But aside from that, I don't think there's much else to say. So I'll just wait for everybody to load in, and then we will be getting underway. As always, a really big thanks to the guys organizing this tournament for so graciously letting me get some casting practice in by doing these games. So, yeah. And I should be able to work out who that is. Is that Lacoste? Probably. Yep, that's Lacoste. Okay. We'll see if he will load in. Oh, well, Gods is apparently still have chat enabled, so no chat one. Okay, so Orange are over on the Radiant side. They have first pick. Usual suspects drafting for each team, so that's going to be Mushi for Orange and Pycat for CLG. And so Nature's Prophet is the first ban. And for me, this should be a really exciting matchup because I think both teams are quite even in terms of skill. I think that this best of 3 series could go either way, and so I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. TA, the first ban for CLG. And we've just been seeing TA, and just these bands, TA, Naga, the recent hero introductions in the last few weeks have completely changed the metagame, and we've been seeing a lot more interesting games, a lot of different heroes making it through. Well, speaking of Lycan, we've been seeing him in a lot of games. We've recently saw teams not banning Lycan, then they pick him up themselves and still manage to lose. I think the one notable example for me was M2W. Who are they against? But they managed to get Lycan, but they were up against Naga, and they lost the game before Lycan could even be relevant. So he's good, but he's not the most ridiculous hero in the pool right now by any means. And so Invoker is the next ban. Another hero that I do tend to ramble on a bit about in terms of what's been happening with him in the meta. We've seen some games where he just ends up in the last ban phase. We've seen other games when you're up against a renowned Invoker player where he's first ban or he's first pick, and so he's in an interesting place right now in the meta. So who has made it through? The CK, who's been reasonably popular in recent times, though I think his win rate has been a little bit atrocious. So Leshrac is the first pickup, and I think we see Leshrac almost every single game. He's just such a solid hero. There's really no reason not to pick him. You can run him as a support, well, in a side lane with with a reliable stun, and then just have that as setup for him. Pushes really well, can solo mid, and so I always enjoy seeing the Leshrac pick. And so we'll see how CLG respond. So take Chen. So Ake, as always, fantastic on that Chen, and winner another hero similar to Leshrac, just all around really strong. Reaches her potential really early, and also really versatile in terms of laning. And if you want, especially with the Chen pickup, you're gonna have more than likely, well, definitely 2 solos, and so winner can take that hard lane solo on the bottom lane.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And I will be the first to admit that I haven't actually watched that much of Orange. I'm obviously a little bit new to the casting scene and still finding my way around. But so Sand King and Enchantress are picked up, so some really early game aggression from Orange right now. And as far as I know, that's just a game that they love to play. And Enchantress, obviously a fantastic counterpick to Chen. Just keep stealing his creeps off of him. Enchantress can really make Chen's life just a living hell. It's not fun at all. Oh, and look, I've got my which keys is okay, there we go. Overlay removed from the pick screen. I'm still I think I've had this overlay for ages, and a big thanks to my friend who put it together for me, but I don't think I have remembered to put it back on after a pick phase yet. So we will see if I remember this time around. So CLG just going to take their last pick right now before we head into the next ban phase. And they could really go for anything right now. But a CM is picked up, so to me this either indicates they're going to be heading towards maybe what is a slightly older style, 4 supports and a carry, something like that. Crystal Maiden's not a bad babysitter. Or you can leverage the CM's aura to really give yourself a ridiculously strong early game push or anything of that sort. So still great flexibility right now for CLG in terms of where they could take this lineup. And so we'll see what Orange choose to ban it. So they choose to ban it the CK, one of the probably the pushier carries. And so Broodmother, speaking of pushy carries, also coming out for the ban for CLG. So both teams sort of anticipating maybe quite a really aggressive early mid game lineup with plenty of push, and they've both got the ability to do it. Orange probably a little bit stronger right now in terms of push. Just Enchantress creeps coming up a little bit earlier than Chen creeps, and while the Chen creeps can't tank, they're not as fast as tearing down a tower as say the Edict is. In terms of counter push as well, no, I think it's about even right now. Sand King's a fantastic counter pusher if you can pick up some ranks of Caustic. Shrek obviously a spam machine. Power Shot also good at clearing creep waves, and Crystal Nova not half bad either. So Morphling the ban for Orange. So sort of worrying about that 4+1 strategy of pretty much 4 supports and a carry. Have the 4 supports hold out not supports. You pick up. I mean, it's a bit of a misnomer to call it that, but for early mid-game heroes, maybe a semi-carry that can hold the game out long enough for your carry to become relevant and keep them safe. So I definitely agree with that Morphling ban right now. And so Syllabear, also the ban for CLG. So again, another pushy sort of late game hero. I mean, he only really relies on getting that that Radiance up, so that's still quite quick compared to what you might think of as a hard carry, but the metagame right now just does not favor that style of play whatsoever. I mean, even we've seen it with Lycan. He's a pushy hero. He's fantastic in the mid game. If you leave him alone next to a tower, it's probably going to be gone when you blink. But he needs a couple of minutes to get going. He needs to sit in the jungle for the first 10-13 minutes and just farm away, and so you can lose the game in that time. Playing 4v5 Dota is just not a good way to win games if you don't have counter push and you don't have strong heroes to early game hold off those towers. And so Beastmaster, the pickup for Orange, so giving them some more fantastic team fight, gives them some more flexibility in terms of the lanes. He's able to take mid, he's able to take a hard lane solo, and then sort of recover from that by by taking some stacked Ancients or something like that. If he's mid, he can stack the Ancients and get a huge XP advantage. And also, Wild Axe is just a fantastic counter-pushing ability if CLG do want to go down that route. Tongue twisters. And so we'll see what CLG are going to do more or less with this next pick. I think there's still, if they were going to go the 4+ winner, there's still plenty of carry left in the pool. We've been seeing a bit of anti-mage, a lot of that due to Burning, sort of showing how ridiculously good he is at carrying, and so DK winning quite a few games just from having that anti-mage. And so Queen of Pain is the pickup. So another really versatile hero. I'll expect her to be heading towards mid lane. So we still need probably another hero to be babysat up top for CLG with Chen in the jungle. They could still go for, maybe pick something up and go for an aggressive tri lane down bottom, but Chen against an Enchantress is not a fun aggressive jungle, and he's not the best aggressive jungler for a tri lane anyway. So I would just expect him to take a farmier hero and just put them up towards that top lane. They could still take something like, say, the Brewmaster, who, while not a carry, you just need to get enough farm up on him. And so Orange actually take the anti-mage. So they've got effectively a 4+1. Hey, Kevs. I'll just glance over at the chat there. And my ever so loyal viewer Kevs is here again, so it's nice to see you. And so anti-mage's the last pickup. So yeah, Orange 4+1. They've got great push. They can take some early towers, get some more farm on him. They've got the opportunity to counter push as well. We'll see what CLG do in response. I mean, they could just take another reasonably early mid hero. Something like the Brewmaster as well is fantastic against anti-mage because he needs to get to a BKB or a Manta to be able to split off the Drunken Haze to really be effective. So yeah, I think it could be a good pickup. Or they could opt for sort of a carry of their own. And so both teams would be playing a really similar style, and it would really come down to execution. But Night Stalker is the pickup, so yeah. Definitely a earlier aggressive game from CLG. They've got the Night Stalker, whose long-ass silence is a fantastic counter to anti-mage. And we will just be getting into the game in a second. So for CLG, I would be expecting co-op towards the middle lane, winner takes the hard solo on bot, CM babysits the Night Stalker for just a little bit maybe, and then Chen is in the jungle. Or we could see Windrunner up top and Night Stalker towards the middle lane. I mean, co-op up top, Night Stalker towards mid, something like that. Co-op could take the hard lane solo. Those three heroes could probably jump around, but Chen, I really would expect to see in the safe jungle. But as always, my predictions are probably woefully off, and we're going to see something completely different. Orange probably more likely to go for the... Oh, wow, that's terrible. Probably a little bit more likely to go for the aggressive tri-lane. Just based on the lineup, and having that Enchantress is just great. And so in terms of who's playing what, we've got Winter playing the Beastmaster, we've got Mushi playing the Anti-Mage, we've got Ice playing the Sand King, we've got Yamate playing the Leshrac, and X is going to be playing the Enchantress. Over on CLG, we've got Miracle playing that CM, we've got Pycat, who's going to be playing that Night Stalker, we've got Misery on the Quap, we've got Ake on the Chen as expected, and that leaves the cost to play the Windrunner. And for some reason, I seem to be getting a terrible amount of lag, so well, I'll soldier through until we find an opportunity, because both teams are just heading straight into the Radiant jungle right now, and looks like we might have a little bit of a level 1 team fight. Mushi still has not picked up a skill point, so wants to see if he's going to need that blink or mana break. But both teams just deciding to back up right now.
30 seconds to battle.
Wow, that's laggy. Just give me a sec. Okay, that does seem to have helped, I think.
The battle begins.
Yeah, okay. So I've got an aggressive ward down for the dire side, so just keeping an eye on that jungle, keeping an eye on what the Enchantress is doing. We do actually, looks like we do actually have this aggressive tri-lane down bottom for CLG. So Winner is going to be taking the lane, and maybe Sim and Chen just heading towards the jungle. We've got, but this, by the same token, we've got an aggressive tri-lane heading up top for orange. So Misery will be taking that lane, so it'll be the Sand King, the Enchantress in the jungle, and Yamate in lane, just farming up as that Shrek. So what's the first creep? We've got a Wildkin up right now, and Pycat actually just heading towards mid. So Mushi will be soloing mid as the anti-mage up against Void, against Night Stalker. And okay, just taking advantage of this hill to pick up his very first creep. So he has a Dark Troll Warlord. And Miracle actually just babysitting Pycat a little bit on this middle lane. And they really want to drive Miracle out of this as quickly as they can. And actually heading straight towards mid. And looks like we may actually see a bit of a switch up from CLG, realizing that Misery is going to have a terrible time up on this top lane against the aggressive tri-lane, so looks like Ake will just be heading up into the jungle. Miracle coming up, placing a defensive ward just to keep an eye on things, and they will be coming out to help Misery on this top lane. Okay, just moving that Troll Warlord into position. And I actually just sitting in this creep camp with the two creeps, and Miracle needs to be careful. Barrow Strike. Ursa Stomp to follow up. He's going to be sent back to base, but will it be in time? No, it won't. X gets the first blood. Well played by Ake, but just the delay on that rank 1 persuasion, 6 seconds. It was really unlikely that he was going to get out. Miracle immediately back up towards this top lane. Little bit of action down on bot. Winter just using the cool board to harass, but Lacoste not having any of it. So 10 for 1 right now for Lacoste. Winter 7 for 1. Still way too early to sort of determine what's going to happen. CLG just taking control back a little bit of their jungle. And 2 sentries up there right now. X just heads over to the big camp. And this is the advantage that the Enchantress has for the first bit of the game, that she's able to have more than one creep really early on. And CLG's just trying to de-ward this, but mischance and ridiculously low damage for Miracle, not making it easy. And X actually heads towards the mid lane. Pycat stuck here on the other side of the river, no mana. He is in trouble. Has that salve, but Mushi is going to drive him back right now. Spots up the illusion rune. Mushi actually blinks and grabs it. He doesn't have any mana to burn, so he's not taking the bonus damage, but actually gets the hawk. A little bit of gold for him. And gets his bottle delivered, so he will just be able to regen back up to full. And we've also got X just heading back into his own jungle. And as I miss a kill up on top lane, Misery and Miracle actually diving back to get ice. Miracle taking a ton of damage. Misery just trying to defend him. Yamate is salving up. And Yamate just right-clicking Misery, blinks. Did he dodge that hit? Yes, he not quite. Uses the salve to survive. But Miracle will go down to Yamate. And Winter doing really well. He's using his Quillbore to pull, to keep this wave nice and safe up against his tower. And Pycat actually finds that 4-minute rune, so it does have an invis, but no real items to make any use of it just yet. And Mushi farming reasonably, 12 for 2. But Pycat actually getting a little bit better of this middle lane right now. And Miracle just up on the high ground. He can come and look to drive Mushi back, but they're really not going to be able to get a kill. And yeah, there's still no rank in Crippling Fear. So they just want to drop nukes to scare Mushi off. And he's actually opted for a bottle right now. So realizing that he's able to completely out-rune whore Pycat with Blink, so may as well make the most of it. Meanwhile, on top lane, Ice just considering something, but no, just hanging around, trying to get some XP. Yamate, 23 for 15, so denying really well. Misery only 9 for 3, so little bit further back in this top lane. And X still just jungling away. Nake still pulling, only level 3, and actually has 2 ranks in the Test of Faith right now. But both teams playing it quite safe. I mean, we had a little bit of a scuffle early game with both teams having a tri lane, but up against a solo. But the adjustments come out and both teams just enter a little bit of farm right now. Pycat actually has that invis, so we'll spot out Ice. And he's waiting for the 6-minute rune, but it is bot, and it looks like it was denied by X using that Ursa. No, she gets nuked, just blinks back. It's just really going to be the dynamic of this mid lane right now. And Mushi actually TP's down towards bottom, and Lacoste just needs to be careful. But Pycat moving down as well. We're in the first night, and Mushi actually blinks forward onto Lacoste, and he's in trouble. Gets hit by the ulti, goes down. Yeah, Winter had the roar as well, so Pycat not able to get down there and help. And looks like he will just move towards mid lane. X only level 4, 2 ranks in the attendance, but Setter will spot him out, and we'll just go back to farming. But he would really love to try and make something of this first night, but he doesn't really have the levels. Level 7 would be great, another rank up in Void. Level 8 means that he can pick up the ultimate and just get a little bit more time out of this, but see what happens. And CLG actually a long way back behind this tower, just trying to place that ward. And CLG all moving up towards top lane, and there's nowhere to spot them out. We'll see if Orange is back up. Yep, so they and Ice just moving forward a little bit, but they should be fine. And Koss still farming on this bottom lane. Mushi was down there grabbing some last hits, but looks like he's moving back towards mid right now. Pycat forced to come and defend this tower. It's already on half health, and that siege creep is still just chipping away. And Orange want this. They've got 3 heroes here. But Ake also in trouble up here. Yamate taking a lot of damage. Yamate doing a lot of damage. Burst strike on Ake, and he will go down to the Diabolic Edict. And this middle tower, pressure from Orange. And Pycat realizing he just can't do anything, goes to grab the 8-minute rune. Does find it. But yeah, CLG just deciding to give up that tower for free, realizing they didn't have the opportunity to defend it, and they just need to get some levels and items up and pick up some towers of their own. And it's really a danger for CLG in this game. They've picked an earlier game lineup, and if they can't get an advantage heading into the mid game, then Mushi is just gonna farm up, and they don't really have an answer for it. I mean, NS and Quap are both sort of semi-carries in their own right, but against a farmed anti-mage, there's not a whole lot they can do. And he's starting to get items up. He's free farming down in this bottom lane. So already 35 last hits. So not the best, but given that he was mid against Night Stalker, he's still doing quite well. Oh gosh, just harassing him a bit. And Miracle pops to Frostbite on Ice, but is no follow-up. Misery now level 7. No ranks in Shadow Strike, so wants to get as much damage out of the Scream of Pain as he possibly can. And his nukes are really gonna hurt, so I think we've got a lot of kill potential up on this top lane right now for CLG. But Orange just playing it really safe. And they've got backup coming in as well. Winter's smoked up. There is a sentry ward here though, but it might be too little too late. It is moving around, and yeah, I think he might be spotted. But here we go. Misery gets stomped by the Centaur, well microed by Ake, gets slowed down, but roar on Misery. Yamate comes in, chains off the Shack Stun. Power Strike as well, but here we go, freeze on Winter. And an immediate buyback from Misery as well. Pycat heading up towards the top lane, has the haste rune. Void on Winter, just trying to juke around. They're trying to right click on Ice, he will go down. Winter throws the axes. They still want Winter, jukes off into the trees, but yeah, TP will not be enough. So 2 kills right now for CLG. They want Yamate as well. Tries to land the Split Earth, doesn't get it. Pops off the Edict, but there's enough heroes here to soak up the damage. And just trying to run away. Has the treads, but Pycat really fast. And yeah, Power Shot finishes him off. So really well played by CLG. I really thought they were going to be in trouble there, but moving their whole team up to try and help out. Mushi, meanwhile, getting some farm, but not all too worrying. And CLG will pick up a tower as well, so 3 kills and a tower going their way. Actually, Ice getting a great deny, and Burrow strikes away. But CLG still want him. Blink forward, goes into the Sandstorm. Ultimate, not enough mana, unfortunately. And Yamate is here to just chase them off. But CLG finding the footing that they needed. They're definitely back in this game. Not that they were out of it at all, but if Orange can get a lead, the anti-mage is going to let them capitalize on it. And so CLG really need to be taking any opportunity that they can find. And they do walk right past this ward, so Pycat is about to get ganked. Yeah, roar to go. Mushi blinks in, right clicks, he goes down. So great smoke gank for Orange. And whatever they can do to slow down the Night Stalker really helps. I mean, all of the squishies over on Orange side really are normally heroes that would have to be afraid of a Night Stalker during the night. But if you can keep him under leveled, and if you can keep his items down, I mean, he's only got Urn, Bottle, and Boots 12 minutes into the game, so not really getting as much out of that first night as he would have hoped. And we're actually coming back into daytime right now, so he'll just be looking to farm for a bit, and that's all time that Mushi can use to farm as well. He's finished up his treads. Misery's down on bot lane, just farming up. Has his treads as well, and she's just waiting off to the side, but Orange actually moving into the Dire jungle right now, and looks like Lacoste's going to walk right into them. Gets slowed down, tries to pop the wind run, but gets Burrow striked, Asks as well. Impetus damage, and Ice actually getting off a great epicenter, but he's taking a lot of damage. Urn as well. He will go down. Pycat just waiting for that void. Goes on X, but Yamate and Winter just waiting at the top of the hill. And CLG know it. It will just turn around, so 1 for 1 the trade.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Mushi actually going on Misery mid. They both have blinks, but Mushi has the haste rune. And he wants to make whatever he can out of this. Misery just moves into the Roshan pit and blinks up into the trees. We'll just TP straight home, actually. Okay, level 6 now, so has the ultimate up, but there we go. Orange just immediately stealing the creep. Ake steals it straight back. And Mushi gets frostbitten. No stomp to follow it up. And all of Orange are here up in this top lane. And I'm missing kills up in the trees. God dang it. Orange fighting in the middle of that tornado, and they're stuck behind this tower, but great power strike from Pycat is stunned. Winter just trying to hide in the back from the Chen creeps. Yamate as well. Hand of God pops. Ice in a lot of trouble. Ultimate flies, but doesn't actually find anyone.
Expected daylight to protect you.
So well played for CLG. They're managing to hold on to their top tier 1, and they do have the advantage in these early team fights, and they really need to make use of it. But probably not really with the lead that they would hope. And this whole time, Mushi is still just farming away. Finds an Invis rune down bot. So 1-for-1 the tower trade right now. And Yamate actually farming quite well. Has a point booster, Ogre Club as well. So might be heading towards a BKB, or could just go for fast Aghanims. But would expect to see that BKB, especially with the treads. And the cost just heading down to try and stop Mushi farming, but you really need to dedicate a really good gank to pick off this anti-mage, and without the silence from Paikai, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it. It'll be interesting to see what Misery builds this game. So he has picked up the points booster, so it looks like he's going to be going for that Aghanim Scepter. And it's good damage, and the spammable cooldown is going to help with counter push, but he really needs to get to level 16 to make the most of it. And he's a little bit under-leveled right now. So coming up on this 16-minute mark, most farmed here, well, most last hits on the map right now is the Shrek, played by Yamate. And we do have a Roar as well. Akash taking a lot of damage, ultimate pops, but he does not die. Stick charges used exceptionally well. Power shot, flies out, doesn't hit anyone. But such a close survival at cost. Misery has a DD room, but just gets forced back, and it looks like Orange might be able to pick up this tower, but they will just try and trade for mid. Yamate's in here, but he's immediately slowed and silenced, taking a lot of damage, and does just sort of resign himself to his death. Ice is here, more TP support coming in, and so CLG looking for the trade, but managing to hold their bot tower just by applying pressure on the middle lane. And we'll just pop that an aggressive ward, but no, we'll just pop that a ward, but we'll be spotted out. And Orange just following in their footsteps right now. Lacoste still farming around bot, and I think that Staff of Wizardry probably saved him from that AM ultimate back there on bottom lane. I thought he was long gone, but Orange actually forming up for a little bit of a push right now. And Mushi up to 2.1k gold. So we'll see what he opts to build this game. He's got all the options in the world. I mean, he could go for a Yasha, maybe a little bit of a more mid-game teamfighty build. Obviously, great to build into a Manta, something like that. Fortification pops right now for CLG, and they are moving into position. TP in as well from the cost. They want to hold this tower. They should be able to get the deny here, but the tower does go down to the creeps, and Orange will just back up. So they drew the TPs, they drew CLG's attention, but they don't need to take the fight. I think they appreciate that there is a lot of burst damage right now on CLG, and they probably have a slightly stronger team fight. So even if they can just force TPs and pick up that tower as well, it's worth it for them. Misery moving forward, but taking a ton of damage from that tower. Burrow Strike onto 2. Paikat in a lot of trouble, gets roared as well, and the Sonic Wave flies, but the epicenter is up. Ice goes down. Ake trying to run away, but the impetus damage will be enough. Axis fly. 2-for-1 the trade right now. Orange holding really well. Misery still looking for a little bit of harass. But it's a 5v4 team fight, and Orange get the better of it. She's still just farming up on the top lane. And we'll see if CLG still want to go for this. Chen will be up in just a second, but his creeps are quite low. No Hand of God for a while. Great Shackle. 2 heroes. Power Shot as well, but the ultimate from Mushi finishing up Lacoste. He wants Miracle as well. Stick charges pop. Shadow Strike on Mushi. Shrek stun goes, but will not find anyone. And so Miracle will just be able to get out. Mushi up to 3.2k gold. The world is really his oyster right now. He could build whatever he wants, whatever his team needs. And Ake, a little bit, unfortunately, a little bit underfarmed, just having to go down and planning for that aggressive, little bit of early aggression in the Radiant jungle, but then having to switch up to top and help out Misery. And as well as 2 deaths to his name means that he's not really close to a mech, doesn't have mana boots. And so he's going to need to try and find some time just to get a few items up. But it's not time that CLG have. They need to be keep the aggression going. And Winter actually has a blink, blinks forward. The cost gets roared, but this Frostbite will go for a miracle, but the cost does go down. And Yamate has that haste. Pycat moving forward, gets stunned by Ice. Pycat taking a lot of damage, and the Leshrac stun follows up as well. Pycat goes down, Misery blinks in. Ice is dead, but X just immediately turns around. And CLG again are 2 heroes down in this fight while Mushi just farms away on top lane. Yamate taking a lot of damage, the Sonic Wave goes as well. He will go down, Hand of God saves Misery. And the Frostbite on X. Just trying to right click, but the Edict damage still doing quite a bit. And here we go, Mushi is in here now. The slow on Miracle, he's very low on mana. Mushi should just be able to right click him down. We'll do so. And it's not looking good for CLG right now. Mushi up to 4k gold. He is a very rich man right now. And he's managed to pick his CS up as well. 100 at 21 minutes in the game, so about 5 CS a minute. Doing very well. And yeah, is now the most farmed hero on the map. The cost not doing too badly, has his 4 staff and phase up, but those 4 deaths have really set him back. And I'm not sure what CLG need to do right now. They've lost all of their tier 1s and they've only taken 1 themselves. They haven't been able to get up an advantage heading into this mid game at all, and they really need to be worried about Mushi. They don't really have the disables to lock him down. They're relying on being able to kill him within the duration of that silence. But yeah, I'm not sure what he can do. And Pycat just opting for some more health. Goes for the Vanguard. But all of these supports are just gonna start looking like food for Mushi. And 4.8k gold for him now as well. They're trying to get some farm up, but actually opting for an ultimate orb. So could get a Scotty, but maybe just deciding that he needs to try and get to a sheepstick as quickly as he can. And Winter and Mushi are here. Roar as well. Mushi just right clicking away all of Misery's mana. Will he be able to get out? No. Pops the ultimate.
The scale is balanced.
And CLG actually smoke up here on mid lane. And they will just avoid off this Radiant Ward, and everything is smoked, so there's no Chen creep to reveal this, but Ice, Spidey senses are tingling, just decides to back off and hides right in these trees, so I'm not sure if CLG are going to find anyone. Pycat moving forward, but CLG actually quite spread out right now, and they need to be careful. Orange moving into position, and CLG just using this opportunity to get down some aggressive wards. They realize that they need to find absolutely any leverage that they can. And the scout out from this Quillbore, so it does spot out all the CLG heroes, but Orange might just take this fight. They've got a bit of a pincer going on. Mushi comes in, but has the Manta, and immediately splits. Was he silenced? Was not. But here we go. CLG are on the back foot. Great shackle on Winter, but I'm not sure how much CLG can make of this. Winter actually taking quite a bit of damage, but Orange coming in from the side. Ake in trouble. Burrow Strike is there if he wants to use it. Yep. And Ake down on half health. Impetus flies, pops the mech. Great shackle shot, but Ake will go down. 2 for 1 the trade right now. Pycat still just wandering around back here, but CLG are definitely on the back foot. Slow on X, but do they have the damage? Yes, they will with the Sonic Wave, but Mushi straight back in, right-clicking, gets silenced. Yamate, Diabolic Edict pops. Misery will just blink down onto the low ground. So, CLG just realizing that they need to get some aggression going, placing down some really aggressive wards. So if there is a hero trying to farm up in the Radiant jungle, they should be able to pick off to get up a smoke gank and go for it. But they need to be wary of these sentries from the Radiant side. And again, the longer this game goes, the more powerful Mushi is going to get. Yamate not really having any mana to do anything, but still just scaring Lacoste back. Has his BKB up, so he's just an absolute monster in these team fights right now. And there's no response from CLG. You can pop his BKB and just get off a ton of damage for its duration. And Orange just aggressively up in this dire jungle. So Mushi, in the end, did opt to use his gold for the Manta style, and it's a great choice. He's able to split out of the silence. And here we go, Roar on Ake. Manta style pops. He's getting right click down. Miracle gets Burrow striked, and the illusions will just finish him up while Mushi spectates from the side. And so 2 heroes down right now for CLG, and Orange should just be able to turn this into a mid push. And just forming up. And Misery realizing there's not that much they can do in mid, so maybe just opting to try and get this bottom tower right now. And there we go, Bar Strike forward, does not land on Lacoste. Diabolic Edict pops, but the creep wave is there. Axes will just clear them up. And Orange actually decides to back up now. CLG are all up. And Ice just hanging around back here. Misery blinks down onto the low ground, spots at Ice. Will Ice go for the Bar Strike? No. Doesn't know where the CLG heroes are right now. And there's no real backup. Yeah, Misery actually still just chasing Ice. And CLG making a little bit of a movement towards this middle lane. The longer this game goes on, the worse it looks for them. So they just need to apply any pressure that they can. If they can pick off a hero, if they can take a team fight, maybe if they can just outplay, then maybe they can make something of it. But they've got so many towers to push through. And here we go. Winter blinks forward. Roar on Pycat. Taking a lot of damage. Yamate's BKB in the middle. Hand of God pops. Miracle taking a ton of damage from the epicenter. Ice will get shackled to the tree. Pycat trying to run away. Will he be able to get out? One more right click. Saves him a little bit. Winter blinks forward. Just right clicking away. Axes fly. Doesn't manage to get it. Pycat still just running away. Slow as well, but will go down. Meanwhile, in the middle of this, Miracle dying as well. Misery on very low mana. Mushi just looking for whatever he can get. Blinks forward, has the ultimate. Misery's going to take a ton of damage if he decides to use it. Does he know he's got no mana? Tries to force staff up onto the high ground, but a huge amount of damage onto Lacoste as well. Okay, we'll just try and send it back to base, and she should be successful. And CLG call the GG. Just realizing that the longer this game goes on, the worse it's going to get for them. And yeah, they dedicated everything to that early game, and they just couldn't make enough of it, unfortunately. And the longer this game went on, it would just get to the point where Mushi could 1v5 basically. So CLG will just disconnect. I'll wait for the final score screen, and we will be heading into game 2 of this series. And meanwhile, I'm gonna figure out why my laptop has decided to shut down. So yeah, last disconnect for CLG, one person staying connected for Orange. So we'll see the score screen in just a second. Yeah, so everybody disconnecting. Just wait for the final score screen for the sake of the VODs, then we'll just jump over to the splash. We should be back in a couple of minutes. Games have generally been pretty snappy in this tournament, so come on. There we go. So This has been game one of CLG versus Orange. I've been Basskip. This is the Beyond the Summit World Tour, and I will be right back with the next game. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Beyond the Summit World Tour. I'm Basskip. This is game 2 of a best of 3 series between CLG and Orange. And I'm not sure what else there is to say. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to load in. I guess I'll say the usual, that if you want to support this tournament, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, then you can buy the ticket in game. You can go over and subscribe to Beyond the Summit's Twitch TV page. I think there's also some competitions and things going on right now over on their Facebook page. And yep, that's about it. Just waiting on Winter to load in, and we'll be getting the draft underway. So, last game, a little bit interesting for, well, not for both teams, but CLG relying on finishing the game early. They didn't have really any late game. Orange picked up the anti-mage, which is played really effectively by Mushi, and just the later the game went on, the lower CLG's prospects sort of became. And so yeah, when you choose a team that relies on getting towers and getting kills early game, you have to do it. If you can't build up that advantage, then you can't make anything of that advantage even once you hold it. Then if you have a carry that's just farming away, and especially a carry is as difficult to gank as anti-mage, you're gonna have a problem. And so Lycan is banned this game, and so we'll see what ends up making it through. So bans from last game were TA, Naga, Lycan, Furion, Invoker, and Darkseer. That's the one. So we'll see if it's just a repeat. But obviously all of these heroes, top tier picks, all individually really strong. It's really easy to build lineups around them, maybe aside from the Lycan. And so we will see. Yep. So Enchanter's actually the ban right now for CLG. So maybe just going for a first pick, Chen for Ake, and he plays it so well. So we'll see what happens. And the Enchanter's ban as well means that something else is going to make it through, be it the Invoker, be it the Furion. And we'll see how Orange respond.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and just deciding what they want to give away right now, because it's likely whatever they don't ban, that it's just going to be snapped up straight away by CLG. But if they choose to ban neither, then they also get one, is the thing. So they ban Invoker, Furion will be the pick for CLG, and Orange take Chen and Leshrac. So nothing all too surprising, but obviously touched on last game. Really versatile heroes. The Nature's Prophet is in pubs he frustratingly changes the dynamic of the game, because it's really difficult to get pubs to coordinate to gank him. But competitive, obviously, once he gets level 6, he's got a global nuke that you can line up crazy well. Great push, farms really well. You can put him in a hard lane and he can still recover exceptionally. And yep, so quite a bit of team fight right now, actually, and push for CLG. They pick up the Enigma and the Venomancer. So wards, Eidolons, Treants, they've got things to tank towers and they've got things to take down the towers. So I do think Orange are going to need to pick up some counter push here. They've got good push themselves, and we'll see if it ends up being similar to last game. I mean, either team could still taper their lineup off and go for something that's a little bit farmier, a little bit more of a carry. But it does look like CLG are going for quite an aggressive lineup right now. But nothing is set in stone until that very last pick, as always. So and we'll see what Orange end up taking. So they take the Queen of Pain this game, and so they've got fantastic teamfight right now and a ton of AoE damage. And the Queen of Pain is good at counter pushing as well. Scream of Pain is fantastic for wiping out Eidolons, and Treant's a little bit tankier, but still quite effective. Not a lot of stun for either team, but we'll see what ends up happening. So SK the ban and the lone druid as well. So orange just again banning out against this pushing lineup. Broodmother is still there as well, and CLG had the first pick coming out of this phase. So we'll see if orange choose to ban that out. Still, and a big thing with a pushing lineup is just sort of having team fight to back it up as well, because with a push lineup you're sort of forcing the issue. If the other team doesn't respond and try and defend their towers, then they're pretty much just going to lose. They're going to be pushed back into their corner of the map, they're going to lose control of their own jungle, and you'll get out farmed. I mean, even if you have a fantastic turtle lineup with an ES and maybe a hard carry, something that can really hold out, there's not enough farm left on the map once you're pushed up into your base and you're turtling. And so when you have that sort of push and you're forcing the other team to react, you need to have the team fight to back it up, because you need to be able to say, okay, we're going to push your tower, and you need to have enough team fight to say, if you try and stop us, we're just going to take the team fight and we're going to wipe you. And so right now CLG have a ton of fantastic team fight, and I'm not saying that they're necessarily going to go for a push lineup, but when you have a push lineup, you need to have enough team fight to back it up, because if you can't take those fights, you push up, you get wiped out, you get pushed back, you lose a tower. And so Broodmother is the last ban for orange right now, so they are worried about this pushing strat from CLG. There's still plenty of good pushers left in the pool. Well, as I say that, can I think of them? Probably not.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
They could still take a Clinks. Takes a little bit of time to farm up, but okay. So they go for the DK, and while he is a carry, his first rank of ultimate, level 6, just shreds towers. The poison attack on the green dragon form is a fantastic pushing tool, and if DK can get that early tower gold up, he's just a nightmare to kill. He's got so much regen from the dragon's blood. He can build into a hood, he could build into a BKB, and what are you going to do? So orange actually opt for the Earthshaker, so more counter push. And Pugna is the last pickup for CLG, so they're definitely going for this pushy lineup. And I really like the Pugna pickup. Quap's ultimate costs a crap load of mana. She's going to be shredding herself, casting against the ward. Chen spells, not too bad, but it's still a real pain for him. And for the creeps, you really need a lot of mana boots cycling to keep that up. And Leshrac, he burns himself to death. He really does against a Pugna. So CLG dedicating a lot to this early push, but they've got a little bit more potential than they had last game to just be able to hold out. If things start to go badly, they still have the option to go on the defensive, use the Venomancer wards to hold out towers and things like that, and just put farm on the DK and the Nature's Prophet. And so we'll see what orange choose as their last pickup. I would expect to see, based on the Earthshaker pick, a carry again. I mean, the anti-mage could work. It worked last game. There's some really squishy heroes on CLG's lineup. Or even the Morphling. The Morphling is still in the pool, and Morphling just absolutely loves squishies. And his nuke means that the Decrepify isn't a huge factor. I mean, he loves to get shotgun, loves to get that ethereal blade anyway. So we'll see what orange end up going. They've only got a few seconds left to make this decision, and they actually opt for the Beastmaster. So it's gonna be early game against early game. Really, there's no hard carry for orange, and they've got great counter push, but we'll see what ends up happening. And they have push, but it's not to the same extent. And so I guess if they can hold the towers and they can get farm up on the Leshrac and the Queen of Pain, then they're going to be more effective probably in the mid-game team fights than, say, the Furion and the DK. The DK is going to be really effective early game for pushing, and if he can get the gold, then he can become a monster. But if they can cut off his farm, then he's not going to be nearly as scary.
5 seconds remaining.
And why is it still... okay, there we go. So I'll quickly run over who's playing what. So we've got Winter, again, playing that Beastmaster. We've got Mushi on the Queen of Pain. Yamate, once again, is going to be playing the Shrek. X is playing the Chen. That leaves Ice to play the Earthshaker. We've got Ake playing the Venomancer. Miracle playing the Enigma. We've got Misery with what looks like a slightly buggy texture or something along those lines, playing the Pugna. Pycat is going to be playing the DK, and that leaves the Cost to play the Nature's Prophet. So both teams just immediately heading into their own jungles, and Trance just scouting out. So Orange really wanting to keep these camps open, trying to avoid any warding, and just placing an aggressive ward to keep an eye on what's happening up on this top lane. So maybe anticipating a bit of a aggressive lane from CLG, but actually it's just going to be Lacoste heading up as the solo Nature's Prophet. So we've got Pugna heading towards mid, Miracle for Clarities, he'll be heading into the jungle, and we've got Pycat and Ake down on the bottom lane. So just play both teams effectively placing the exact same wards, just on the other side of the map. So another... I thought it would be a very similar mirror matchup last time, but the anti-mage just sort of tipped the balance and changed the dynamic of the game. But it looks like we're going to be seeing... well, yeah, I know. I think it's very evenly matched, and it's very similar lineups for each team. So Zerp Minurn is just a haste, and looks like X may actually be heading down into the Radiant jungle. So forming up with Yamate and Ice to get a little bit of an aggressive tri lane going. Pycat immediately stunned, but has a stout and plenty of regen. And as soon as he starts to get that Dragon's Blood as well, he'll be fine. Though, ideally he doesn't want to get it. He really would prefer to get the Breath of Fire if they're going to be going for this early push. But maybe based on that last Beastmaster pickup, CLG realizing that they can probably hold for a little bit longer before going for these pushes. Yeah. So X is in the Radiant jungle. So Winter will be soloing against Nature's Prophet up on top lane, and he should have a reasonable time. But obviously, range versus melee, it's always a little bit difficult. And Pycat really getting harassed down in this bottom lane, but still opting to get Breathe Fire. Doesn't want to have to use those points on Dragon's Blood. So we'll see what ends up happening. Just throwing out that first breath. And I still just hanging off to the side. Has grabbed a little bit of XP up, so it is just grabbing XP, but hasn't really revealed himself just yet. But they know he's there. They've got this ward. And Miracle in the jungle, but X is actually just waiting up on the hill for him, and just grabs one of those Eidolons. But they're just about to run out. And so jumping over to the mid lane, we've got Mushi playing the Quap against Misery on the Pugna. And so a fairly even matchup this lane. So Quap probably getting a little bit better of it with a slightly better animation, but Misery obviously able to spam and keep Mushi harassed back and pick up last hits as well. So he's actually doing a little bit better on the farm right now. I'll just pull up last hits and denies. Yeah, 11 for 2 for him. And X actually heading around the back right now with this troll, using it to tank the tower, stun on, and the grab on Ake. Damage really going out from this demonic edict, diabolic edict. Pycat running away as well, but the edict doing a ton of work. He runs back, pops that salve and a tango, heals up. So first blood the trade right now. And here we go. Lacoste TP's in, gets the last right click on Yamate. Is there a stun? No.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And well played by Lacoste there. So 1 for 1 the trade. And we'll just head over and grab a TP scroll and head straight back to top. Misery, meanwhile in mid lane, just getting zoned a little bit by Mushi. The Shadow Strike spam does hurt. Misery just hold his ground, right clicks away. Mushi has his bottle sent out. Blink forward, scream. Misery has his bottle as well, but Mushi's going to be getting a lot better rune control with that blink, so he can afford to be a lot more aggressive on this middle lane and just spam at his spells. So Misery might be forced to bottle crow just to stay in this. And both heroes fairly evenly matched in terms of being able to push the wave out to go for the rune, but I don't expect Misery to be able to get any of them. And stun on Pycat. Nake moves in from the side. There's no heroes to follow up, so Yamate just using his mana to harass. And he's back on full mana after that death, so not too worried. And Mushi finds the 4-minute rune, which is a haste. And X just jungling up. But here we go, TP down towards bot, Pycat just moving off. No, I was thinking about it. Lacoste was thinking about it, and Miracle was moving in from the side, but Pycat took a lot of damage. And he's burning through so much regen. I think Ake had like 6 tangos, and Pycat had 3 tangos of his own and a salve, and they've already burnt through the majority of that. So Yamate getting some great farm down in this bottom lane. 20/7. He has a death as well, but he picked up that first blood, so that trade probably favorable for Orange, so long as he managed to spend some of that gold. And yep, so he actually has arcane boots up right now, so Pycat is going to be taking a lot of harassment. And yep, so Yamate opting to start picking up some points in Lightning Storm, realizing that they can actually be aggressive on this bottom lane, apply the pressure, try and get the tower, and force CLG to pull heroes away that they don't really have from other lanes. And meanwhile, Lacoste gets grabbed up on top lane, and the axes fly as well, finish him off. Well ganked by X. And yeah, as I was saying, if Orange can just push down onto this bottom lane, there aren't heroes to try and help out. Yamase just sitting in here, gets Malefist and the Venomous Gale as well, pops off the Edict, Pycat just tanking it for now, and the treants and the creeps there as well. He will go down. Ake gets the last hit. Mushi just on the other side of this Fissure, but right-clicking away, manages to pick up Ake. Pycat. And the ultimate finishes him off! Well played by Lacoste. Wow.
Dire's middle tower is
Just
under attack.
Pycat keeping sight on him so the Prophet ultimate could bounce. And exceptional play, exceptional coordination for CLG. So 3 for 3, keeping it even right now. And Sentry Ward's up for the Radiant, so just trying to reclaim control of their own jungle again. But X is up on top. He's not worried, and he's getting some pretty reasonable farm. He's up to level 5, so has that 3rd rank in Persuasion right now, able to start picking up some more creeps. Pycat level 6 down on bot, and Chen getting another kill on the Nature's Prophet. Up towards top lane. Map awareness letting me down. Miracle is down on bot, and so is Misery. It looks like they might be going for a push on this tower. The ultimate is up for Pycat, but he's taking a lot of damage, and the Fissure stun is there as well. Yamate pops the Edict. Pycat moves forward, uses the stun. Dragon Form as well. Nether Blast, Drain, he will go down. And Miracle and Ake still want ice, but he will be okay. Yep. And so all 5 CLG heroes moving down towards this bottom lane. They want this tower. And Mushi just hanging back behind the middle tower, holding the creeps away so that they can get this tower as well. And forcing a TP back from Misery. It's fairly low on mana, but still has 2 bottle charges. And X just pushing this top tower as well. CLG need to get this tower, and quickly, before Orange are able to react. X is probably just going to stay up on this top lane, but Pyke taking a lot of damage and gets clipped by the very edge of that stun. Yamate moves forward, Malphite stun on him. And Pycat Yeah, just moves off to the side and we'll just TP back home. He needs to heal up. And CLG wanted that. They wanted that tower, but in the end they lose their tier 1 on top and don't really have anything to show for it. They grabbed that kill on the Leshrac, but Orange doing exactly what they need to do. I mean, it's hard to call where this game is going to go super late, but I think I do have to give a little bit of an edge to the Furion and the DK. So long as the trades are reasonably even in terms of kills and towers up until that point. But really aggressive wards for Orange right now. They really want this bottom tower, and we'll see if CLG are able to hold it. Wards are there, but they're only level 2. So they're getting taken out quite quickly, and Lacoste will just TP away from X up on the top lane. And just heads back to base. Orange still 3 heroes down here. They want this tower. And what level is Ice? Level 5 actually. So this action down on the bottom lane, and he's been able to pick up some XP as well. CLG pushing on mid lane, but they've only got 2 heroes and 3 Orange forming up as well. And the 4th TP in. So Mushi moves back. Ice just sitting over on the high ground. Misery sort of realizing what's going on. And Yamate just continues to keep putting pressure down in this bottom lane. And I think, yeah, here we go. Smoke up. X moving down. Malphus stunned. Mushi draining health. Hearn is on him, but the Hand of God saves him as well. Acust TP's in, wants that last right click. Will he get it? Bottle actually saving Mushi. Miracle goes down to X in the middle of that. And Lacoste is in trouble now. He's got TP maxed out, so he can get out soon, but they can see him this whole time. And X still wants him as well, just hiding off to the side. Troll trap. Will it find him? No, just cancels off the clarity. Pycat still getting some farm done on bottom lane. Has the soul ring finished up, but Orange just trying to push in as hard as they can right now. They know what happened. They know exactly what happened in that last game with the anti-mage, and they don't want it to happen to them. And Lacoste this is the thing with the hard lane Furion. He gets up the Hand of Midas, but he needs time to get back into the game. He can contribute with the first couple of ultis, and he's able to push if they can find an opportunity on a tower, but he hasn't found the chances on the tower. He's finished up his Midas, and he has got 2 kills to his name, but he needs time. And Orange are all smoked up, and it's not time that CLG are gonna have. Ake moving back, Winter moves forward, Roar on Ake. Looks like Pycat will just immediately TP out. X still wants him, but Ake is dead. Buying enough time for Pycat to TP out. And CLG move in, Black Hole up. So Miracle trying to find what he can, but all of Orange are down here right now. Misery moving forward quite aggressively, puts down the ward, but takes a ton of damage. Miracle Black Hole on 1, Winter taking lots of damage. Yamate just trying to finish off the ward, can't cast any spells right now. And Mushi needs to be careful, that ward is on such low HP. But still only 1 hero going down for CLG and none for Orange. They hold exceptionally well. And they should be able to hold this tower as well. CLG still want it. Elder Dragon form up for a little bit. But Lacoste will just TP back up towards top lane. And again, he needs to find some time to be able to get some levels up, get some items up. The Midas helps, but it's not enough. And he probably will just try and put some pressure on this top tower. Force a reaction from Orange. But 2 heroes is enough to hold this push right now from CLG. And Mushi just blinks forward onto Misery. He has a DD rune, gets Ethereal, taking a ton of damage from the drain. Will it be enough? It will not. Mushi had the Sonic Wave as well, but maybe realized that he couldn't give Misery in time before he would start draining, and just not able to fight from there. Down on bottom lane, What's Yamate got? So he's finished up a Bracer and a Point Booster, so he's quite survivable right now. And Ice has managed to get some mana boots of his own as well. No deaths, 3 assists, so he's doing quite well. And he's only got 8 last hits, so the majority of those mana boots has just come from these early towers that Orange have taken. And they're doing exactly what they need to. They're keeping the pressure on, they've taken towers, they've got control of CLG's territory, they know where they're moving. And they're really directing the flow of this game right now. CLG are not out of it by any means, but their lineup would have really liked to take some early towers, and they had the potential there. But having effectively 3 heroes down in this bottom lane makes it difficult for Lacoste or Misery to move off to help push. And there just wasn't really the potential there with the Enigma, Veno, and DK up against the lane that they were, in the lane that they were up against with the ES and Leshrac. And the Leshrac with levels is just able to completely shred the Eidolons. And 3 ranks of Lightning Storm as well for Yamate right now. So the stun on Split Earth doesn't scale with ranks. So just able to use the Lightning Storm if you have the mana to get a ton of damage. And actually, Misery, Hand of God pops up on top lane. Misery goes down to the creeps, just right-clicking away, and the boar is there too. Mushi as well. Lacoste will just try and TP out, but the Sonic Wave finishes him up.
That was the sound of your death.
And Orange should just be able to turn this into a tier 2 tower as well. The 2 solo heroes for CLG are down right now. And there's not much that this little tri-lane on bottom can do. Pycat still just farming up. Has a Ring of Regen, so could just pick up some Tranquil Boots, or maybe heading towards a Hood and a Pipe for his team, but it looks like this tier 2 tower is going to go down. There's not much that CLG can do. Nickel actually TPing, so TP's popped for CLG right now, Ethereal on Mushi, but he's going to be sent back to base, just pops up some damage. Miracle chasing forward, Lacoste TP's in, Sprout on X, but he immediately TP's as well. Winter trying to run away. Lacoste, and Winter will just pop a TP as well. Is there a stun? No, there's not. And all they're going to find is that creep. They get the deny off, but yeah, they will just try and transition this into a push, but Orange are going to be back soon. And Ice immediately TPing up. Miracle moving forward, Chen creeps are here, misses the stomp, and they should be able to pick up this tower. Fortification pops, Orange moving back into position, Mushi just over here, but finding the courier. So almost as good as a hero kill with the change to the gold. CLG do manage to pick up a tower kill. And mana boots up on Misery, they might be able to make something of this. Miracle quite close to that mech. But they need to be careful about what team fight they take. And the fortunate thing for them right now is composite damage on the Beastmaster axes and the Edict means that the Decrepify is fantastic for keeping heroes alive. Pycat gets netted, stunned as well, Roar on him, taking a lot of damage. Edict comes forward, stun as well. Black Hole on just Mushi right now. Looks like Ake popped the Poison Nova, Hand of God pops, Mushi sent straight back to base. No fatalities just yet. Looks like this creep will go down, but... And CLG in a bit of trouble now. Winter blinks forward, axes fly, the cost taking a lot of damage. Winter gets the last right click off. Misery trying to put damage onto Ice. Uses the drain, but immediately cancelled by the Echo Slam. Ake gets the last little bit of damage. Winter quite low. Pycat heading forward, stun as well onto Winter. 3 for 2 the trade right now. Miracle off to the side, and Mushi not able to do that much. X is back at base. Well team fought by CLG. And this tower should just be a free pickup. Pycat will just... No, Miracle just gets the last hit. And that's his mech. Sonic Wave flies. Miracle actually in a lot of trouble. Mushi playing quite well, and realizing that the Shadow Strike will just finish him up. Just goes back to farming. But CLG, they got what they came for. They got the tower, they got a few kills. Unfortunately that Miracle got picked off at the end there, but... Anyway, just to complete that thought that I was on before that team fight started, the great thing about this Pugna pickup in this game is that both the Diabolic Edict and the Wild Axes over on the orange side do composite damage, which means that if you're ethereal, you don't get hit at all. So it's good. I mean, yes, there's a lot of other magical burst damage coming out as well, so he needs to be careful not to rank it up too much. But it's good for a quick save. So another reason why this pickup is a little bit unorthodox, but a really great choice for CLG. And Misery pops down the ward, but the Chen creeps will just try and finish it up, and uses the Decrepify on it to keep it alive for a little bit longer. But 80 gold going into Chen's pockets. Yamate moving around to the side, and Lacoste again just trying to farm up a bit. Has the Ogre Club and Treads. Might be heading towards the eggs, but all of orange are moving down onto this bottom lane right now. The Treants might actually spot out Yamate, and Lacoste will immediately try and TP out, but the Split Earth will stop him. And is there enough damage here? Mushi's here as well. Shadow Strike on Lacoste, just pops out the ultimate before he dies. Trying to do as much as he can. And CLG should be able to get this middle tower in response. Yeah, and they do manage to do so. Another tower pickup for Miracle. But orange are moving around, and BKB is almost up for Mushi. And it means that they really need to just drop a black hole on him every single fight, and it's not something that they can afford to do. They need to try and get multi-hero black holes, but there's just so many things to cancel it. And even if you got a BKB, Winter is always going to be there with the blink and roar. So Miracle maybe realizing there's not a whole bunch they can do. Smoke though, and CLG move forward, but they get stunned up by the Chen creeps. Mushi finishes up his Black King bar, so he will have it for this fight. Decrepify on the ward, trying to keep it up as long as they possibly can. But CLG on the retreat right now. Great Fisher, stuns to Winter. Blink and Force Staffs forward, stun on Ake. Hand of God pops to keep him alive. Great Black Hole, catches two. Ice and Orange in a lot of trouble. Lacoste right clicking as well. But here we go, Sonic Wave over the top. X almost going down. Ake just trying to get away from this BK beat up Mushi. Sonic and Scream of Pain is almost up. 3 for 2 the trade, but Pycat and Lacoste probably not able to make that much of it, and Miracle is just retreating back. But still, a team fight that went well for CLG. And again, if this game goes late at the pace it's going right now, then Furion and DK are going to be fairly reasonable threats. I mean, Quap can get up quite a bit of damage, and she can either just head for a damage item right now, or maybe go for something like an Aghanims, maybe a Guinsoo. And the Hex is always really great against DK, because when you're Hex, you don't have any of your passives either. So as far as I know, DK shouldn't have his Dragon Blood, and so he loses that 8 armor for the duration. Actually, no. What am I thinking? Hex removes all armor. That's my point here. It's not passives. I'm gonna say actually just behind in the back right now. Diabolic Edict, but there's a lot of creeps here to tank it. And we'll just Force Staff himself away. Ice is here to secure his retreat. Dan Lacoste just gonna TP out. Winter had the Blink and Roar, but doesn't find him. And X still just jungling away. And he's got Mecha and Arcane Boots up right now, so he's got exactly what he needs. Probably just keep buying wards, and if he has enough gold, head towards maybe an Ags or something like that, but nothing too pivotal. He's finished his core items. Orange lead by 4 kills right now. Gold difference 1k. It's not at all significant. It's the odd tower here and there. I mean, actually, yeah, gold in the Radiant favor right now, but they still have plenty of towers to take. There's still plenty of gold left for them on the map, but there's only two 2/2/2s. So say it. 1k the gold difference, and 1k, and then 1 tower the difference. So probably about 2k overall in terms of potential gold. Then CLG want to make another push down in this bottom lane, just absolutely obliterating these creep waves. But Wild Axes fly out as well and make a reasonable dent themselves. And then Orange start to form up. Mushi will just TP in as soon as he needs to, and has that Sonic Wave up. And does Miracle have the black hole? No, he doesn't. So CLG needs to be quite careful about this team fight. Yamate moving forward. The ward is down, but it will, yeah, it does get taken out. And Mushi immediately blinks forward. BKB, great Echo Slam. Sonic Wave over the top. Miracle will go down. The cost taking a ton of damage as well. Will he be able to make it out? No, the blink forward from Mushi. Roar onto Pycat as well. Winter just doing as much damage as he can. X will go down. Winter having to retreat as well. Yamate taking a ton of damage himself. Mushi still in the back here, trying to pick up as many kills as he can. Gets the Venomancer. But he's the last one up. 3 for 4 the trade right now. And CLG should be able to pick up this tower. Mushi's still just sitting back here. But BKB is down and he needs to be careful. Pycat's still in that ultimate for a while. And that stun duration is ridiculous. 3.25 seconds. Yep, so Pycat does manage to pick up. Does manage to pick up another tower. And that Pipe of Insight was absolutely critical in that last fight. It was the only reason that CLG probably held on to that as long as they did. And they're just trying to get on Mushi right now. Ethereal on him, but doesn't manage to find the DK stun, and he is just out of that form right now. But Mushi's Quap is doing a ridiculous amount of work for Orange right now. He's up to 2k gold. Has the Staff of Wizardry picked up, so might be heading towards an Aghanims, might be heading towards another 4-staff just to keep his squishies safe from the DK. I mean, if he stuns a hero and then you just 4-staff him away, he's not that quick to catch up, and losing that focus target is really difficult for him. But this game is looking really exciting, and it's still really anyone's right now. And actually opted to pick up the Necro book, so Basskip's predictions, as always, 100% wrong, but Necro book fantastic for pushing, maybe realizing that if this goes too late, that Pycat is just going to become a monster. And so maybe they just need to get the push, need to be able to capitalize on any team fight win that they can. And yeah, and so Ice didn't actually have a blink there, so it looks like he got 4-staff forward, but here we go, Winter actually in a lot of trouble on mid. Will he be able to TP out? No, Hand of God pops, but not enough. Good gank by CLG, and it's a good pickup. And Yamate will just keep pushing up on this top lane. Has an Ogre Club and the Point Booster, so could finish up the Aghanim soon, could go for a BKB as well. I mean, the black hole is always there, so while the BKB is helpful, it's not always reliable, especially if Winter's down. But there's a lot of ifs there. Again, Mushi just using these Necro minions to push down the tower. Fortification pops, trying to clean up the minions, and Mushi wants his tower. Pops the BKB as well. Uses the TP scroll, but realizes he needs one more last right click, and will just blink away. Will he be able to make it out? Cost. He's coming in, Sprout, but he has Blink, and we'll just keep running. And Blink in another second, so he will be fine. But yeah, I saw him pop that TP and cancel it. Thought that might be the end of him, trading his life for the tower. And Pycat sensing this gank coming in, will try and TP out, but a fantastic Fissure from Ice. And Pycat needs to try and wander his way out of this right now. Penance. Diabolic Edict as well. Pycat quite tanky, and the Echo Slam pops for him as well. Wants to take down Ice if he can. Pops the Pipe of Insight, but he will go down. And just a fantastic Fissure from Ice, only just canceling off that TP. And CLG, they're not going to be able to make this push down in the bottom lane right now. Roar and Sonic Wave both up, but Black Hole as well. And it looks like they might just go for it. Put the ward down, and they've got all these summons up as well. And X needs to walk. He's got the TP, but the creeps aren't going to be here. And Yamate immediately coming in towards the middle of this fight. Yeah, so Orange will hold this tower quite comfortably for now. And Cost just immediately TP's up towards the top lane. Has his Ags finished up, so he is not doing too badly. And Misery actually a BKB and an Ultimate Orb up as well for him, so he's doing really well. And probably heading towards the Scythe device right now. And he's not too far off. Still has to farm up the Mystic Staff, but it's going to be a huge help for them in these team fights. And And again, I mean, they're pushed back to the racks on 2 lanes, and they've only got the tier 2 on mid, so that they can't really afford to lose a team fight on their side of the map. But the way that these team fights have been panning out, with like, you know, 4 kills each side or 3 to 4 or something like that, there's not a huge amount of pushing potential after the fight. So for either team to really make anything of it, they need to win a team fight a little bit more decisively. And Miracle actually going for the BKB. So the roar is always there to cancel it, but it means that Winter needs to hold on to it for Miracle. So it's still a good choice. And also they're just taking a ton of damage from this rank 3 Sonic Wave, so that'll be a big help as well. But 500 mana, I mean, if the Pugna ward is down, that is a ton of damage. And so they need to be careful with that ward, and at the same time, it's really critical that Misery gets it down and just manages to keep it up during these fights. And has the rank 4 Decrepify now as well, so he's able to use that to keep that ward up as long as possible. And yeah, so Mushi finishes up his Necro 3 just straight out. And it's gonna be dangerous, and there's a lot of incidental AoE in these fights that could pick up the Necro Warrior, and it's a big chunk of damage towards some of these heroes. Pycat probably not caring about it too much. He's actually heading towards an AC right now, and is level 16 as well, so he's got that Frost Dragon form, which is going to be huge for them in this next fight. But it looks like Orange are trying to go for something here, moving towards this middle lane, but Misery will just spot at Yamate, but the blink forward and roar onto Misery, taking a lot of damage from the Edict, and will he go down? Yes, he will. Miracle moving forward, pops the black hole, but he's taking so much damage from Yamate right now. Will they be able to pick them up? Hand of God pops, Winter is getting quite low, but Yamate just wants to walk away. He's BKB'd up with nowhere to go, gets stunned as well, so will get picked up. But 2 for 2 the trade. And the black hole used as well, so I'm not really sure who came out on top of that. Both teams will probably just try and regroup. But it looks like CLG actually just want to go for a push. Trying to force some attention from Orange, but looks like they might just head into the Roshan pit right now. So using the Saturday to scout and the Ursus to tank, and yep, so they will go for it. And Mushi has pretty good damage right now, so yeah, along with the Necro minions. So, but the Treants are immediately in here, scouting this out, and CLG are going to be up earlier than Orange, but Roshan already on half health. And Ake is going to be the first one in there, but Pycat out of his ultimate, doesn't have it for 50 seconds. But are Orange going to be fast enough on this? They send the illusion in, but not enough to interrupt this. Gets sight for the Prophet ultimate, but an X will just pop the mech and back up. Pycat wanders in. They want to steal this Aegis, but they're getting blocked by the creeps. Fantastic micro and a great Fisher. But here we go, they managed to get in. Ice is hiding on really low health at the back, gets picked off. Mushi trying to do what he can, pops the BKB. He wants this Aegis, but he's just getting right-clicked down by Pycat and Misery, and he will go down. And Rosh as well. Misery picks up the Aegis. Winter in trouble too. Malphus almost off cooldown. Lacoste TP's in 4 for nothing as CLG. Holy crap. They are back in this in a big way. And these heroes are going to be down for ages. Yeah, Mushi down for 50 seconds. X will be back up soon, but doesn't have any creeps. And Yamate the only one there. Ice is here. Can block off the ramp with the Fisher, and they pop the fortification, but this should at least be a tower. And Fisher flies. Yamate, what's that BKB duration? Still 9 seconds. He's going to be able to wreak havoc in this next team fight, but they need to hold this Rax for long enough. And the immediate focus on this melee Rax. Look at it go. Yamate just spamming as much as he can, but Pycat pops the ultimate. He's moving forward. But they just want this Rax. And it's going to be big for them. And that Roshan, maybe just a misstep for Orange. I think they overestimated how quickly they could take it out, and they lost a Rax because of it. Pycat is just getting tankier and tankier. And yeah, so Misery finishes up that scythe device as well. And he's got an Aegis too. This Pugna is huge right now. Yeah, and Pycat having that AC, how do you kill it? It's 30% spell resistance from the pipe. He's already got 8 armor from the Dragon's Blood, plus the armor from the AC. This just... he's so survivable. And that's all he needs to do to get damage off. He can just sit in his ulti and right click. He's already got... his damage isn't fantastic, but it's okay. I mean, the 14 bonus damage on the ultimate. And yeah, he doesn't need to... even if he can just soak up spells, I mean, Orange need to kill him to win the fight. I mean, sure you can ignore him, but he's slowing, he's got, you know, splash damage. Okay, actually opting to pick up Reaver. So just sick of dying, tanking up. Bracer, power treads, Reaver for him. Mushi and Yamate still both really farmed, but also need to both be really careful. And Orange go for the smoke up. And Mushi is just off to the side, and Lacoste will actually threatens the TP. Orange all moving off to the side, and oh, Miracle needs to be so careful. Oh, the Hawk is gonna spot him. He will move back, but the roar immediately pops, and he will go down here. Leshak's done to follow up. Fisher as well. Has it blocked the ramp? CLG needs to be careful. Yeah, it looks like it has blocked off the ramp, but CLG are not going to want to take this fight without the black hole. Well, they might. They've still got an Aegis. Pycat has that AC up. So Orange still just being cautious. I mean, Winter just trying to scout out with that Hawk. He's almost got a pipe of his own. Yeah, he's quite close. And X just getting more smoke dropped off. They realize that they need to pick a hero off right now, to make a lot of these fights. And again, the same way that CLG took that bottom racks, Orange could do the exact same. You pick off a hero, you turn it into another pick off on a straggler, and you keep going through. So Orange definitely not out of it, and I feel like, yeah, so 7.5k the advantage in favor of the Radiant right now. It hasn't really dipped in the Dire's favor that much this game, and XP in their favor too, but XP graph, not really too much to worry, but it's more about the distribution of levels. And speaking of the distribution of levels, I will just check it out as we form up for this team fight on middle lane. So yeah, I still only level 11, rank 2 ultimate up now, but it's not really doing that much damage for them in these team fights. So yeah, I'm gonna say that really the big source of AoE damage, but the pipe is really chewing through it, and Mushi just needs to be careful about his Sonic Wave usage with the Pugna ward down. And CLG just want to push on mid, but Mushi and X are smoked up. Blink forward onto Miracle, roar on him as well. He will go down. There will be no black hole this fight. Misery taking a lot of damage, just draining on ice. But he's getting right click back. He's BKB'd up. Mushi still wants him. Aegis pops. Pycat ultied up, just right clicking away. But Mushi heading off to the side. I don't think the Poison Nova hit anybody. CLG still want this, but Orange got what they came for. They got a kill and they popped the Aegis. Mushi just stuck in the back. Ice picks up Ake. Mushi taking a lot of damage will actually go down to that stun chain. And CLG probably still just want to push this. They've got their biggest heroes up right now. And Mushi down right now for Orange. Still a tower to fight through, but yeah, Winter forced back to try and deal with this Rax bottom lane. And CLG, Mushi down for 60 seconds. He does have enough for buyback. So if they crest this hill and start to put some damage up, he should be fine. Pugna ward is down. Yamate doesn't have enough mana to really do that much, and he's sheeped up as well. 2 Gwinsus right now for CLG. Misery just decrepit. Yeah, just another blasting the tower, trying to get as much damage as they can. Trying to force probably trying to force the buyback, but not able to do so. And Ice is back up, so just fantastic counter push. But CLG are all coming back up as well, and they'll be heading straight back into middle lane. Miracle. He's been denied his black hole twice. We'll see if they can make it 3 times. And it'll turn the tide of these team fights completely if he can get a black hole off in a couple of heroes. So again, Winter needs to use that roar to either pick off Miracle at the start or hold it until Miracle pops the ultimate. So pipe pops. Looks like CLG are going to want to go high ground right now. They're right clicking on the tower, doing as much damage as they possibly can. All the Eidolons, all the Treants. Pugna ward down as well, but here we go. A little bit of a backstab from the Necro units. Mushi just not wanting to reveal himself off. The tier 3 tower also drops. And Pycat is almost completely out of mana. Blink forward onto the cost, but Miracle knows he can go for the black hole right now. He's looking for it. Black hole on 2, a lot of damage. Ice, Hand of God pops. Ice goes down. Winter taking a lot of damage. Malphite stun on him. Yamate off to the side. Mushi on half health. Just blinks up onto the high ground. Great stun from Yamate. 4-staffs himself up. Decrepify. CLG should just be able to get this Rax, and this is looking like GG right now. Yep. Buybacks from Orange, just trying to do whatever they can. Mushi will be sent back to base. Ward pop down from Misery. And CLG should be able to pick up this Rax. And I think that might just be it. Orange still trying to do whatever they can to hold out. Ice TP's in. Great Echo Slam, but only hits Ake. He will go down. Sonic Wave on him as well. The cost a little bit too tanky. Mushi blinks forward, but the cost able to just TP straight away. And meanwhile, Misery just picking up kills left and right. And Pycat picks up a BKB. There's no killing him right now. Fushi comes forward. He wants Miracle. Malphite stun on him with the Dragon Tail to follow up, and the cost is going to be here in just a second, but they don't need it. They should be able to say this is GG. Yep. So Orange will call the GG right now, and so this is game 2 of the. So GG well played. So CLG managed to take the second game of this series. So looking forward to the third game. See how this all pans out. Yeah. Not sure how much else there is to say. I've been Basskip. This is the Beyond the Summit World Tour. It's a best of 3 series. As always, I really love to plug these guys because I love having, love the Dota TV system. I love being able to cast over the top of professional replays just for practice. And so if you want to support this, remember that you can always buy the ticket in game. You can go and subscribe to their Twitch TV page, which will remove ads from the page. Yeah, so just if you can, I encourage you to support this tournament. Again, I've been Basskip. This is a game 2 of best of 3 series. So if you're watching this as a VOD, I should have game 3 posted somewhere. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next game. Hello everybody, welcome back to Game 3 of a series from the Beyond the Summit World Tour. I'm Basskip. This is between Orange and CLG. Orange are going to be on the Radiant side, CLG are going to be on the Dire side. As always, I encourage you to try and support the Beyond the Summit World Tour if you can. In-game tickets, subscribing to their Twitch TV page, all of that. It's absolutely fantastic if you can show your support, and so we can keep great tournaments like this going. So we'll be getting into the draft in just a second. I think I've introduced myself, so yep. We'll see what ends up happening. We've had fairly similar bans for the past two drafts, only deviating by about one hero. And Orange actually have first pick, but they choose to ban the Lycans. So, and it's a trend we've been seeing a lot more recently as well. We saw a little bit of him making it through, and then teams trying to force the other team to pick him up, and then so I think a few teams have sort of lost with the Lycan or realized that maybe he doesn't fit into current lineups quite as well as they would hope, and so we've got very similar bans this time around as we did in games 1 and 2. So just to round it up, it would be Invoker and the oh lord, what was it? Think Invoker and the Naga Siren. So we'll see what ends up happening, because if either team chooses not to ban one of them, so here's the thing: if Orange choose not to ban one, and CLG choose not to ban one, then while Orange gets to pick, then CLG gets to take whatever's left. So if Orange don't ban the Invoker right now, so they ban the Invoker, so CLG are probably just going to ban the Naga Siren, I would expect, because they don't really stand to get yet. They don't really stand to gain anything from the trade. If there were still two sort of power heroes in the pool, then maybe we would expect to see, okay, yeah, they'll trade. They'd be willing to trade the Invoker for the Naga Siren. I'm not sure if it's a great trade, because I'd much rather have the Naga Siren to basically be able to say,